Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And we're back talking about Pandemic Legacy
Season 1. This time it was February.
Yes.
We demolished January, got right through that.
Yes.
And sadly that got us 2 less event cards in our deck this time.
It did.
So the better you do, the less event cards you're going to have. The worse you do, the more event cards you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. And also, spoilers, we're only talking about our whole playthrough.
Yes.
So major spoiler warning, we'll still flash that up on the screen before.
For sure.
But yes, it is all spoilers. But yes, we had to do it with 2 less event cards, which we still had our 2 event cards that were in the deck come out.
We got the 2 event cards, and they were pretty helpful.
Yes, for sure. Because, and we knew February was a short month, so
yes.
we didn't know if we'd have a chance in late February to get a second game in. So we definitely figured we better do it in the first attempt, first go around.
Yes. So we started off by reading one of these, and this allowed us lots of flavor text talking about this red virus, Coda, and how it has
Coda
evolved.
403B now.
Yes, and how it has evolved, and what is wrong with Coda now.
Now, Coda, before we couldn't, we could treat it.
It took 2 actions to treat it.
Yes, and it couldn't be cured before, but now it can not even be treated or cured. So now once we get any of the Coda red disease cubes out there, they're stuck out there. There's no way for us to get them out there.
They are stuck out there, yes. And this also, after all that information about that, it allowed us to open 5 different things.
Oof. So we were excited when we saw all those.
So that was 5 different pieces from the dossiers over here, which one of them, what were they? Some of them were relationships that characters can have.
Yep.
So when you add a new character into your games, I believe it's when you add a new character.
Yeah, that's what they made it sound like. It wasn't entirely clear, but that's what it sounded like. Whenever you add a new one, you can give them a relationship
with an existing
one. So we assumed you had to use a new one in order to add a relationship.
Yeah.
So that forced us to use a new character because we felt like we better use that.
So Pete SD stuck around and he became friends with, that's his relationship,
Dates McGee, who was the dispatcher, which allowed him to move another player's pawn as if it were mine. So I can do all the normal move actions. And then also, as an action, I can move any pawn to a city with another pawn. So pretty much since it's a 2-player game that we're playing,
move us to the same location.
But I must get permission before moving another player's pawn, which I had to do once.
And I almost refused.
Yes.
I thought if we were, another one of the things was rivals. If we were rivals, I might have refused.
To be thematic.
For thematic's sake.
But you used the medic again. Was Pete. And so, as friends,
if we ever started, if one of us started a turn on the same spot as the other, we would get to look at the top 2 cards of the player deck and see what they are.
And that actually came into play immediately because at the beginning of the game, even if you have multiple locations, you still have to start on the same one. Yeah. So that allowed me to look, since I ended up going first, allowed me to look at the first 2 cards, and the first card was an Epidemic card. So we knew that right away. I knew that.
Because, we had both started over here in Khartoum, where we had placed a starting station at the end of the last game. And there were a few up here in blue in these 2 locations.
In Paris and St. Petersburg.
Yeah. Those...
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, it was Milan.
And St. Petersburg. Yep. Those each had 3 from the initial setup. So since you saw that it was an epidemic coming up, we knew we had to go and tackle those.
We had to go.
So that really helped.
Right. And I could only go for one of those 2.
Yeah.
And Well, yeah, and another thing we could do.
One of the other unlocks, along with the relationships, which are they can be rivals, friends, coworkers, or they can even be family members with them. So crazy stuff. But it also allowed us to open one of these boxes for the first time,
which was pretty exciting.
I had no clue what was in here, and I opened it up, and it was not empty like it is now. But it had a little cardboard sheet with these quarantine tokens.
Yes.
Which really were introduced to help us with this red virus that we couldn't treat and we couldn't cure. Mm-hmm. So we also got these. With these, you can take another action and place a quarantine marker in your current city. Mm-hmm. And it pretty much, if there's a quarantine marker in a city, if for any reason you would put any amount of cubes into that city, they don't get placed, and you just remove the quarantine marker. Mm-hmm. So we had to go all out in the red section over here and place, and we even cleared a few, and there's still 3 left over here. Well, 4 with that one there. So yeah, we ended up placing like 5 or 6 over there, mm-hmm. which really, really helped us.
It did, yeah, because it kind of took off. We got a little unlucky, so we sort of got lucky and didn't get lucky because we had the 2 of Milan and St. Petersburg mm-hmm. for 3 cubes, but we also had Ho Chi Minh City, which was not good because we knew we could not clear it at that point.
But luckily, I believe you had an event. One of our 2 event cards was the one where you can remove a city card from the infection discard mm-hmm. pile.
And I got that. I don't think it was right away, but it was like in my second. It was very early in the game.
Yeah. So we just removed that. Decided to remove Ho Chi Minh City,
which was a huge.
If we didn't get to do that,
right? I think it wouldn't have been good.
It would not have been.
Because we would have hit Ho Chi Minh at least a few times. Yeah. And we wouldn't have been able to get over there that quickly with what we had. Because I don't think I started with any red cards. You might have started with 1, but I did not start with any.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, so I chose to go to Milan with the 3 cubes. And I just put a quarantine on it instead, hoping that it wouldn't hit. And then you could clear it with your new ability that you chose from last time.
Yeah.
Where you can get it from
local connections. Once per turn, you may treat disease in a city adjacent to your city. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I could just kind of go next to it, not go completely out of my way to go there, and cure it.
Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, it ended up. I picked the right one because it did hit, but it did get rid of our quarantine zone as well. But it at least stopped us from hitting that immediately, and then. Kind of triggering and sending those cubes all over the place immediately. Yeah. And we got lucky enough that St. Petersburg did not come out right away. So.
One of the other things we got this game was we unlocked a new character.
Yes.
The Quarantine Specialist. Once per turn, you may use the quarantine action to place a quarantine marker anywhere on the board, not just your city. And quarantine markers are never removed from the city you are in. Mm-hmm. So that could be definitely useful, but for some reason we didn't feel the need to use.
We didn't think that'd be important enough this game. But no, we had kind of, I don't know what we kind of.
We'd already come up with a name for him.
Yes, so that's why we ended up using him. So it kind of didn't work out because I was thinking it could be good, but what was it? Oh, yeah. We kind of thought, too, because we saw the friends' relationship, kind of the benefit that it gave, and we thought it could be good for him because of how he could move people to the same spot. Yeah. And if they moved it onto his spot, then when they start their turn, they'll be on that same space.
Yeah.
Which we thought.
I think that was the best decision.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, then how did we go on from there?
We went on. What did we do? Black started getting out of control pretty
almost immediately
early in the game. Actually, didn't explode anywhere.
No,
didn't have any outbreaks.
We got
crazy. Because we had a couple here that were max at 3, a couple at 2, a couple at 1, and we had to place a quarantine token over in Kolkata. But then we were fortunate enough to get the cards we needed, and I believe that was the first one that we cured.
That was the first one that we did.
And then we ended up just kind of running through there with my special ability, cubes being just immediately removed if they're of a cured disease when I'm in the city.
Right.
So we were able to clear that up and eradicate it, which
pretty quickly.
with one of our game end bonuses, because we had eradicated it, what did we do to it?
We ended up making it a common structure. We no longer need to be in a research station to discover a cure for this disease. So now, once one of us gets the cards we need to cure the black disease, we don't have to go to a research station, which should be pretty nice. And hopefully now we'll try to eradicate that multiple times and keep getting a little bit better. Because we were debating doing 2 levels and just getting it to be, I don't remember what the secondary one would have been, just to get it a little easier than that even. But we ended up choosing an upgrade for Dates here. And we made him a pilot. So do not discard a card when taking a direct flight. Show the card and return it to your hand. So we figured that would work well with his move another player's pawn as if it were yours. Because then I would be able to move them to that location.
So if you want to get them a card in your hand, you move yourself there by just showing it. Move them there as yourself by showing that card again and not discarding it. And then you can hand him that card. I just feel like that could be a very, very powerful thing.
Yeah. And hopefully it will. We'll see how it ends
up. Because the one problem, you could always get them to you, but you still had to get to the location.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, hopefully that'll work out really well for Dates. Old Datesy here.
I don't want to change characters ever again.
I know, but then we won't be able to develop those relationships.
That's true.
Those meaningful relationships.
Who else is he family with, or
we'll
co-workers, or rivals?
We will have to see. But yeah, also throughout the game, surprisingly, we eradicated both the yellow and black, which is a little surprising because yellow, in Buenos Aires, it was
really getting
exploded.
Out of control. We ended up having 2 outbreaks, one in Buenos Aires and one in Taipei. Even though we had placed tokens over there, it was able to hit a few times and explode.
And we actually got pretty lucky over there because we had 3 cubes, I believe, on Tokyo and Taipei. And then we ended up putting a quarantine on Osaka, which is connected to both of those.
Yeah, Osaka had not, because I think Taipei exploded, put 1 cube in Osaka.
Right.
And then we put a quarantine in Osaka. And then the next epidemic, where you had to draw one from the bottom and place 3 cubes on that city,
it was Osaka.
It was Osaka.
So that would have caused us 3 different epidemics in one shot.
3 epidemics.
So we got really lucky with that.
That was legacy changing. I think.
Was legacy. So it's pretty crazy how lucky we get, especially with that. That was very lucky.
Yeah.
Because the worst part is I feel like this is only going to get worse.
Right.
And the fact that we avoided adding anything outside of just Taipei, to only add the 1, was huge. Because if we would have got that to level 2 and then those other ones to level 1s each right next to it, so it's just a really hot zone there.
Yeah.
That would not have been good because we would have had to focus way too much effort on that. Then I think making sure we put out these quarantine markers for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But so
winning the game, we ended up getting these 2 new event cards for winning, or just for winning. I think it is. This one, place a quarantine marker on any 2 cities on the board, which could be really good because if we aren't near an area that's getting real hot, we can just kind of treat it or prevent it from afar.
Right.
And then that one player, including the active player, may discard their current character and replace it with an unused named character. So that way we can still use these characters, but just start off
with someone else. So I could see how that could be a good thing if you can get a couple that maybe pair well together with collecting the cards and maybe moving around to try to cure the things. And once they're cured, maybe switch one of them out with the old medic to have them go out there and start curing all the areas. Yeah, that would be interesting. Kind of bring them in as the what is it in baseball? Not a good pinch hitter. Pinch runner. Pitcher. A reliever? A reliever. Or closer. Closer. He's the closer. He's the closer.
This isn't a sports channel.
No. He will be the closer of the
closer. You cure the diseases and you send him out and he gets it off the map.
team. There we go. But yeah, the worst part is we get these, and they're both really cool. But now that we've won back-to-back games, we're actually getting none of these event cards.
No event cards are going to be in our deck.
And I feel like
next
those
time.
event cards in the last two games, we've gotten. I think we've gotten them all out of the deck.
We've gotten them all.
So we've
every
gotten
time.
pretty lucky as to when we've gotten them as well.
Yes.
But they have definitely saved us.
Yes.
So this next one's going to be a lot harder.
I think March is going to be hard.
I think March is going to be very hard.
I'm
going to be surprised. Well, I won't be totally surprised if we win, but I think it's going to be a lot tougher.
Our characters are getting better, but yeah, it could be tough. Yeah. I'm starting to think maybe we should have put some of those event stickers on these city cards so that you'll have permanent events.
That's true. Maybe next time.
But
we'll see how hard it is.
We gotta live with it.
We have to live with our decisions.
That's how we feel at the end of every game. It's like, oh, we should have done this.
We should have.
Well, oh well.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes next time. But yeah, we're just hoping that the red virus doesn't get any worse.
Yeah,
because
sure.
that would really be tough if we start having to. I don't know what you could add to make it worse, but I'm sure there's things that you could, and if that's the case, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But otherwise, was there anything else that we...
How did you like these? How did you like the placing of tokens out there?
I do. I wasn't sure how much I'd like it, but I think I actually really like that additional option of what you can do versus just clearing the cubes.
Because it frees you up. Because either you can clear it now. I mean, it's going to be... Either you clear it or one doesn't get placed. So it's kind of the same for that situation.
Right.
But you don't know when that card will come out.
Right.
So you kind of do it now and just wait. And see
taking
when
the risk.
it actually comes
out. And I think
out.
it was most interesting because we had Pete SD, because he was the medic. So for me sometimes... I could put one of these on here, hoping that you could later go and clear it because your special ability allowed you to remove all the cubes. Whereas if I chose to remove a cube versus place a quarantine, then it kind of felt like it could be a wasted action if you could get to it.
Yeah, maybe, but
I don't know.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I like what it adds. It's definitely an interesting additional action.
Especially for when one does outbreak and spread cubes to those areas like it did in Osaka. Exactly that situation. I think that's a great way to prevent some of that.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of thematic too. Like you want to get it from the outside so it does not spread out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it definitely works for sure in this game, and it makes sense thematically for sure. Yeah, we're gonna need all the luck and best wishes to get through March. I think
it's gonna be a tough month,
but we're gonna try as hard as we can.
No, March is gonna take 2 objectives. It looks like.
Oh boy, it's gonna be tough, but we're looking forward to it.
We can do it. We have the momentum.
We've got the momentum on our side. Will we use new characters? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what we unlock when we set up the board for March, because I'm hoping it'll be much like February where we got a lot of goodies.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, we will see you on the next one. And don't forget to
keep on nibbling.